Good morning, everybody. Oh, frog in my throat. I haven't said any words yet today. I didn't realize that I was a little froggy. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Let me just take a quick drink of water. Perfect. Okay, so today I want to do this from Tomas Padros. This is from his Instagram page. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And he doesn't have a name for it. So he says in his down in the comments in his Instagram, somebody asked if it had a name, and he said no because it's influenced from all these other patterns, Me Too, Huggins, Tiaga, Floors, Webbin, all sorts of ones, and he says that it's a crazy mishmash of patterns, and so for my purposes, for describing it to you, I'm going to be calling it Crazy Tomas. That's what I'm going to call it. So it's easy to do. First thing we do is do that like letter C. And then on number 2, if I let go, it's going to go back. It's not going to stay zoomed in. On the number 2, let me zoom you guys in as much as I can. There we go. We're going to do this little C first, and then we're going to do another little C coming down, and then so forth and so on. We're just going to make a chain of C-like shapes, kind of squarish C shapes. And then we're going to do that same thing going mirrored opposite, going down the other way, and then back to the first row, and then etc., etc. So we just keep doing a mirror back and forth, back and forth. And then when he did his thing here, then it looks like he did an aura there, and then sort of an aura like this around like that, leaving this triangle. He filled those in. I really like what he did here. And I'm going to give that a go because it's inspirational. Turn on my light. Oh, now you're way too zoomed in. You can't see a thing. There's my paper. I'm doing it on a nice big page today. This is my 6-inch square, 6.5-inch square. Not quite. 5.5 by 5.5 square. I need another drink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a border. And then I think I'm going to go diagonal with it, just because I think that's where I'm going to go. Excuse me. I am just full of it this morning. So we're just going to jump in and see what happens. So we want to make our let's start here. Sort of a C-like shape like that. And then this, like this, and like this, and like this. And I know I'm not catching them here. I can come back and catch those pieces. Like that, and like this. Something like that, and this one would have one coming that way, right? Yeah, it would. And then the one going the other way is going this way. one like this, and one like that. Something like that. Goodness sakes. I am just full of the frogs in the throat today. Everything's in bloom. Just everything. Okay, so now we're going to go opposite. Mine are getting wider as they come down this way. But I guess that's all right. You know what? I just need to put my border. Wow. I apologize for all the congestion. I don't think I took an allergy pill this morning, so that could be my issue. No decongestant this morning. Okay, when I'm done with this one, I'll have to run in the house and grab a decongestant. Alrighty, let's do this one, and this one, and that one. And you know, I got those that aren't quite connected. I can come back and connect them. That's where I'm going to fill in anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like that. Right? And then we're going to do this and that and this and that and this. I feel like it would come here a little bit and this would go like that, right? Just to finish off the pattern. This would go like this, and you'd see just a little bit like that, and then this would come like this, and that would go like that. Okay. These I made a little bit skinny, so I'm going to do like this. Make them a little bit bigger. Got a little carried away with my thing. We're going to color those in anyway, so it doesn't matter. Keep telling yourself that. It doesn't matter. Like that. I think after I'm done here, I will look up the other patterns that he was inspired by for this and see what they look like, so we can see which parts of this are those other patterns. Does that make sense? Something like that. Okay, so now I want to just color in all of these bits. Maybe I'll get my bigger pen just to make it easier for us, so we are not tediously coloring in with a tiny one. And if we need to color in a little bit more, we will do that. It's okay. It's definitely should be sort of a teardroppy shape. Like that. And then we'll try to embellish. But while I'm doing this part, let's do a question. Did you and your friends have a special place to hang out in childhood? Tell about that. Do we have a special place to hang out? Not in particular, I don't think. I guess the most frequent place we hung out was at my friend's house. She had a basement, which was unusual in where we live in Southern California. Basements aren't really a thing, but her house was built on the side of a hill, so part of her house was like dug out into the hill, and it had a basement. It's not a full basement, but a basement portion. The garage, it had the garage, and then like behind the garage was a basement area. And that is where the hamster lived. So of course we spent a lot of time playing with the hamster. I had all sorts of pets when I was growing up, but a hamster was not one of them. So it was fun to go to her house and play with the hamster. Something's buzzing at me. What? It says no notifications. I don't know what buzzed at me. It's probably YouTube. Probably YouTube giving me a notification. Somebody commented on something. Or that one of my favorite YouTubers has gone live. Or something like that. Those notifications don't get pushed to my watch. I have only set up on my watch for text messages to get pushed to my watch, and Ring doorbell notifications. Those are pushed to my watch so that when the stealth UPS guy or Amazon dude, lady, could be a lady, when the stealthy Amazon or UPS delivery drivers come, I will know. Because even if I am at home, they never ring the doorbell anymore. They just plop the package on the porch and run. Take a picture of it if it's required of them and go. They don't ring the doorbell because I've been sitting there in the front room waiting for a package. And then I get a notification that the package has arrived. And nobody made a noise at the porch. And I look out and, yep, there's a package there. They were stealthy as could be. Very quiet. So I now have my doorbell give me a notification if there is a package in the package delivery zone. Yeah, I think that was basically the place we hung out. We just hung out at each other's houses. But there was no specific hangout spot. Not really. All right, we're almost done with this part. Just like this. Aha. There we go. Now, it appears that he did auras. So that's what we're going to do. You can already see if I just shaded this, it would have unders and overs and weaves. You see them? Like this one goes on top, and these ones go underneath. Cool. So we're going to go on the outsides of here. Could I make my lines more consistent? I could probably try. But you know what? This is a hand-drawn piece of art. It's not computer generated. I want people to know that. So I think it's okay if things are a little on the wonkiness side. Okay, next question. How did you decide on a career? I didn't really. I initially wanted to be a school teacher. It was like what I wanted for my entire life. You know, when little kids are asked what they want to do when they grow up, school teacher was always my answer. Always. And then I went all the way through college and got to the last bit where I did student teaching, where you know, that's part of your coursework is to teach in a real school. And I absolutely hated it. And that was a complete surprise to me because it's all I'd ever wanted in life was to be a teacher. And I absolutely hated the whole process. The only part I liked was the kids. And even some of them I didn't like. But The only part I really enjoyed was the actual teaching part, but I hated all the rest of it. I hated the politics. I hated dealing with parents. I never had thought about that when you're a teacher, you don't just teach. Why that never occurred to me, I don't know, but you don't just teach. You have to discipline. Oh, discipline was horrible. I was not good at it. The fact that you spent most of your day not teaching and doing other things had never, ever dawned on me. Those are the kinds of things that they really needed to teach you and be early on in your career path in school. I think student teaching should not have been last. Should have been first. Before everything else, I think student teaching should have been first. Or at least at a minimum, volunteering in a classroom so that you could have real world understanding, because as a student, I never had paid attention to the fact that what the teacher was actually doing during the day, and that she spent most of her day, she or he spent most of the day corralling students instead of teaching students. Making sure they're sitting down, making sure that they've, so many students who aren't paying attention because maybe they are starving because they haven't eaten today, maybe they have had some horrible thing happen to them at home and they just can't concentrate today. All those things never occurred to me when I was dreaming about being a teacher. All I wanted to do was the teaching part. And so I guess that's kind of what I'm doing now, which is why I'm really enjoying this. I'm teaching you guys, and I don't care if you're sitting still. I don't care if you're acting out. You're at home. You can do what you want to do. Have at it. Have a fight with your boyfriend. I don't care. Turn me off if you want to and you don't want to listen to me. I don't care. I just get to do the teaching part, which is the part that I really like to do. So I guess this career sort of chose me. Now, my other thing that I do to make a living, that was just accidental. Clear. Why is this not going? Okay, so I will want to. I'm looking at his picture here and just figuring out what he did, because there's really no steps beyond the drawing the chain part. He's really got kind of got coming down this way. Down the middle. Right? And then he's got them going this way. Just trying to figure out how he drew that. Okay. All right. Did you see anything that I just did? I just gave myself a really thin, really light pencil where I want to put that next step. And now I can see where that kind of goes. Like that. That's going to get filled in right there. It's going to get filled in right there. That's going that way. This gets filled in. Should I wait and do this fill-in bit with the bigger pen? Probably. Yeah, probably. Okay. That's how that goes. Something like this. Something like that. And then here. That, like that, like that. Something like this. Oh, there's that frog. It's back. Go away, little frog. I do not want you in my voice. I sound like an old robot. This is working. Alrighty. had jury duty this week. I will have to go back. In California, at least in our area of California, the rule is 1 day or 1 trial, but you have to have gone through the whole day. And if you're excused, if you're, let's say you get there and the case you've been assigned to decides to settle the last minute just before trial starts, then the jury who has been called for that trial is done for the year. That happened on some of the people who came in to the jury room. They sat, their name was drawn. You get put into groups. It was a fairly small set of group this time. I mean, sometimes I've been there and it's been just jam-packed in people with multiple trials on one day. So, but the day I was there this week, there was basically only 3, and one of them, they said, well, if you're on panel A, you have to do this. If you're on panel B, you have to do this. If you're on panel C, your case settled just before trial, and you are excused. You are done for the day. You've done your duty. So they counted as if you were on a jury for that day. Well, because my employer does not have a limitation on the amount of time they pay for jury duty, I always get called for the bigger cases. It was the largest group in the room. Probably close to 100 people. And because there was like 5 or 6 pages of names that came up on the thing. It said, this is your group. And then when we weren't told yet what type of case it was, but I suspect that it was a capital offense, murder or something, because they said the trial was going to last. The lawyers are estimating 7 days. And that's 7 trial days, not 7 calendar days. So like a 2-week trial. Well, we're leaving for vacation in just a couple of days. So, for those who had medical, not just a doctor's appointment, but, like surgery or something that's scheduled that cannot be rescheduled, those people were excused, but not excused as far as that your jury service has been done for the year. You can be postponed, but you could not be excused. You could be postponed. And then for those of us who had paid vacation, plans, we had to state, where we were going, how long we would be gone, and why. What was the event the occasion. Why were you leaving town? And then none of us were excused. We were postponed. So to go back to the jury room and have them reschedule us. They're not letting anybody out this time. Even there was a lady who came in who said that she really shouldn't be there, that she's supposed to be on permanent medical disability for jury duty. And they didn't take her. They said that nope, she could be postponed and then come back with her proper doctor's information. They didn't have any of her doctor information on file, so that she was not excused. And I could physically tell that she said she had a traumatic brain injury and that she was unable to concentrate for more than about 10-15 minutes at a time. And I could tell she was having just struggles forming a sentence. And they weren't letting her out. They told her that she had to fill out this particular form, go to the doctor, fill out the form, and have it in the system. And she said, well, I've already done this. My doctor's already filled out this form. They said, no, we don't see that it's been filled out and it's not in the system, so you don't get excused. You get postponed. Let's make a date for you. How long will it take you to go to the doctor and have this filled out? And they gave her a date to come back with her form filled out. They didn't give her an excuse. They're being strict this time. I imagine that it's getting harder and harder to find jurors, which, I don't mind serving. I would have totally served the full 2 weeks if I wasn't going to be on vacation. If it was going to be just a 1 or 2 day trial, I totally would have not asked for any kind of excuse. But I knew I was in trouble when I got there and I had to fill out the extra questionnaire. You're going to be on a large, complicated trial if you have to fill out the extra questionnaire. And the bigger the extra questionnaire is, the worse it is. The harder, longer, more complicated the trial is going to be. That I've learned from experience. This one was just a 1-page questionnaire, which wasn't too bad. It did all the standard, are you married? Do you have children? If your children are grown, what do they do for a living? If you have a spouse, what do they do for a living? That kind of questions. What do you do for a living? How long have you lived in the community? That kind of thing. Those are usually the questions that they do, like in person. But I think when it's a big trial, they want to get those kinds of questions just like out of the way, and the lawyers can just look at them on the papers and don't have to ask every single juror these basic questions. They can get on to asking questions that are more pertinent to the case as to whether or not they want to keep or excuse a juror for whatever reason. Okay, we're almost done. Oh, it's a long one. It's a long video. I knew it would be. Gosh darned it. Gosh darned it. I suppose I could have made it on a smaller piece of paper, but I wanted to really see the pattern. Let's hurry. We have to hurry. After I'm done drawing here, I may decide to color it in, but I'm going to do that separately. Things missing here. That's missing. That one's missing a corner. That one's missing a corner too. Like that. Okay. Oh, is that it? Okay. Okay, we've done the pattern. Score. Now, I want to do a little bit of shading, I think. Did I do that one there? No, I didn't. Okay. A little bit of shading, and then I will post this on Instagram after I'm done coloring. I may do probably 2 posts. I'll do it as I'm finished with it here, and then also if I decide to color. Don't know if I'm going to color it or not. I may not. I haven't decided yet. But this video has gone on far too long. So I don't have time to color today, that's for sure. Okay. Shade. Why did I turn it all around? I don't rightly know, but I did. It's coming. I'm almost done, you guys. I promise. This was a long one. Awesome. Okay. There we go. Good enough. I'm going to call this Crazy Tomas. That's what I'm going to call it. That was big, and that was an adventure and a half. But it came out good. I love it. I love the way it looks. You guys have a great day. Do something nice for someone today. Make the world a better place one person at a time. And I will see you on the next video. Oh, gosh darn it. I forgot to plug in my battery. I didn't plug in my battery. That's no good. All right. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.